The most important thing is, of course, the story.
Story is all that matters. Story is king.
And find a story.
Story is golden.
And a story is what drives any video like this.
Story is overrated. And don't get me wrong, a story is important, but I feel its significance is extremely overrated, especially within a YouTube context. Now, I want you to think back to like the past few things you've watched, the past three films or TV series that you've watched. Now I bet you will have a better memory of all the characters, their traits, their behaviors, how they would react to certain situations over the actual plot, the actual story. Also, it's bloody windy today, and I feel this was I guarantee you the characters will leave a longer lasting impression than any story. I need a haircut, man. This is getting stupid.
There's also in the house blend.
Oh, am I tempted?
That is a good reaction. What we wanted to do was tempt you as much as possible.
Good.
So this is going well.
I go past this coffee shop basically every day, and yet I've never been in.
Could I grab a slice of banana bread and a flat white, please?
Yeah.
Okay, now, although Casey attributes his success to his storytelling and how he tells a story, I honestly think the reason he's done so well is not at all, it is partially the storytelling, but I think it's more to do with his personality, the character of Casey, basically. I mean, like, going back to the daily vlogs, you're not really tuning in to a daily vlog for the story. You're tuning in for the personalities behind it. And people are tuning in for the character of Casey, and seeing how this energetic man sort of approaches an everyday situation in this fun, interesting, creative, and crafty way.
I mean, just look at sitcoms, for example. You don't tune into a sitcom for the story. You're tuning in for the characters and how they're interacting with one another.
You gotta have a story. Who says you gotta have a story?
I mean, like this episode of Seinfeld, this is literally them waiting for a table in a Chinese restaurant. There's barely any story. In fact, it's a show which is about nothing. It's literally about nothing.
Everybody's doing something. We'll do nothing. They say, what's your show about? I say nothing. There you go. I think you may have something here.
A wildly successful show with no story.
I guess story kind of basically serves as a structure to showcase characters, basically. I don't agree with the fact like
Story is king.
I think story is the kingdom, but the characters are the kings.
Everything serves the king.
So, review after coffee. Good bean, good roast. Nice staff, very nice staff, very friendly staff. So, would highly recommend, what's it called? New Cut Coffee. Might actually be my new favorite spot for coffee in Bristol. How long have I lived here? Never been there? Jesus. Anyway, the second point I kind of wanted to talk about today is what I call the Ghibli effect, basically. And what this is basically is like films or TV shows where like the world is put forward as a priority. The focus, basically, building an interesting world first. And it sort of seems like then a story is kind of put into that interesting world. So it's like the focus is on an interesting environment, but then the story kind of feels like an afterthought. Like take My Name is Totoro, for example. I'm sure a lot of you know of Toy Story, even without having seen the film. That's because the film is kind of garbage. It's kind of garbage. But the world created in that film is just so inviting and wholesome that it doesn't need a gripping plot for it to be good. It's the thing I get with Ghibli, and just watching two Ghibli films, it's that feeling. It's the feeling you get around the world. Like, I always feel like the worlds are filled with such wonder and intrigue. There are always things I just like, I wanna be there. I wanna know what it would be like to live in that world, and what I would do. What would I be doing in that world? How would I interact with things? I wanna explore all the environments. I feel like these worlds are set up in such a way that it just sparks that interest, that intrigue of what else is out there. The other thing that I need to share so everyone else is equally annoyed as I am is I've always wanted like a Ghibli styled like Breath of the Wild game. I want those two. I want Princess Mononoke crossed with Breath of the Wild. I need that game. That would be next level. And I'm hoping now everyone else here is equally as annoyed that game doesn't exist. It would do so well. It would do so well. Jesus. All right, I'm gonna dip down here to try and get out of the wind. Back to Neistat. I feel he kind of partially has this Ghibli effect with the way he sort of presents his environment, largely New York. And sort of like this world of New York. It's not a world he's created, but it's one he's sharing through his eyes. And it's sort of like, through the limited aspects of it that we see, it sort of sparks, for me at least, it sparks that same sort of interest of like, oh, what else is there? What else can I see here? I swear, wind, has gotta be the worst kind of weather. The worst. Now, I'm not saying all this because I really believe Casey is wrong. You know, he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. You know, he's got to where he is because of his beliefs in storytelling and having such a strong focus. That bell is very loud. And having such a focus on story. So yeah, story is important. The issue I take with the whole concept though is all the people that kind of hear the catchphrase "story is everything" and just roll with it without really understanding what it means to build a story, or what a story is and what goes into making a story good. Things like character, things like building an interesting world, and they sort of just fall back onto, well, you need a 3-step now. So yeah, that's really what I'm trying to get at, is people just need to think for themselves rather than just repeating what someone else is saying. Anyway, I got the idea about characters from director Sam Esmail.
Remember plot, you remember the characters, and you remember what they're about and who they are and what choices they make.
And I probably got that idea about Ghibli from somewhere else, and I've forgotten. So yeah, be original.